Hi, this is Ashok from FinEx Training for CFA. I run this training institute in Mumbai, and this YouTube channel is for CFA aspirants and for investment banking operations people, where I cover the concepts of finance. So now the topic that I'm going to cover now is steps involved in an IPO. The agenda for this session will be like steps involved in an IPO process and an example of your prospectus, so that you can get the practical flavor as well. Practically, you can understand, like how the prospectus looks like. So the first point, the first step, that happens in an IPO is appointing the investment banks or underwriters. So what do you mean by investment banks or underwriters? So let me just write over here and show. See, for example, imagine uh, this cafe coffee day. So now cafe coffee day, what do? They make coffee. That's the business they do. So they are an expert. They are an expert in making coffee. But however, they are an expert in making coffee. But however, they wouldn't know how to raise money from the market and use that. I mean, how to raise money from the market. So that's where they have to take the help of an expert. Okay, that expert is called as investment bank. It is just like imagine we are doing some work, office work, and we are earning from our office work. And when we fall sick, what do? Even though health is ours, but we are not an expert in our in finding out like which tablet we are supposed to take when we fall sick. So automatically I will approach a doctor. Doctor is the expert when it comes to health issues. Similarly, investment bank is the expert when it comes to raising money from the market for a company. So this company will approach an investment bank, okay, which will study this company, just like a doctor will study our health and then find out, and then advises the tablet. Similarly, this investment bank will study the health of the cafe coffee day. Health as in the balance sheet, the profit and loss account and balance sheet, and then they will advise. They both will work together to raise money, to raise capital from the market. So that's what an investment bank does. Okay, they are also called as an underwriter because they are taking up the guarantee over here to make sure that the company raises capital from the market. So they are also called as an underwriter. Okay, so that's what the first step is: appointing investment banks or the underwriters. Okay, so once they appoint, what do? Investment bank will study the company. Investment bank will study the company, and then they will prepare. They will prepare red herring prospectus. Okay, draft red herring prospectus. First they will prepare draft red herring prospectus, DRHP. So draft red herring prospectus means what? It will have all the information about the company. It will have the qualitative factors as well as the quantitative factors. When I say qualitative factors, management, where the capital will be used, net worth, or quantitative factors will be net worth of the company, earnings, where all the numericals are involved. All such information will be provided in the prospectus, and it will be sent to the regulator. Like for example, in India, it will be sent to SEBI, or if it is US, it will be sent to SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, right? Okay, but here, in draft red herring prospectus, they will not put the issue price. Rest all other information will be given, but then the issue price will not be given. Over here, the intention is to inform the regulator that they are planning to issue an IPO, and all the details they are providing to the regulator. And regulator is not concerned with the issue price, at what price company is going to raise capital from the market. Regulator's job is to make sure that prospectus has all the truth in it, nothing is hidden from the investors. That's the job of the regulator. So that's what regulator is going to check in this draft red herring prospectus. Okay, then so once the draft red herring prospectus is sent to the regulator, company also files an application to the stock exchange about the IPO. Uh, uh, like for example, in India we have Bombay Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange. So whichever stock exchange the company is interested in listing their shares, it may be interested in both as well, Bombay Stock Exchange and National Stock Exchange. So in that case, to both the stock exchange, they will file an application about the IPO, so that the stock exchange can use in its system and be ready for the operations when the when the IPO is issued. So that means they will, they will have all the information about the IPO, so that they can do all the back end work. Then once they get approval from the regulator, investment banks will do road shows. What do you mean by road shows? Road shows basically means it's a kind of advertisement publicity. They will investment bankers will arrange meeting with fund managers, business analysts. Basically, some sort of noise will be created in the market so that the attention comes towards the company. People get to know about the issue, about this IPO issue, and they will check the investors' interest as well. That's the reason investment bankers will meet various fund managers, investors, big investors, all institutional investors. They will meet, and then they will try to find out the interest that is prevailing in the market for this particular IPO. Okay, then once SEBI gives approval, that draft red herring prospectus becomes red herring prospectus. Okay, so then the price is decided. Now there are two ways to price an IPO issue. One is fixed price issue, another one is book building issue. Now what is fixed price issue? Fixed price means company will fix the price. Say for example, imagine company has fixed the price as 100. So this is the price per share. Per share it is 100. So now it is up to the investors whether to buy or not to buy. If they are interested in buying, if they should if they are interested in applying for the IPO, they should be ready to pay 100 rupees per share. Okay, that is fixed price IPO. Now what is book building IPO? Book building as in like they will let the market decide the price. How? So they will decide the range. Company will just decide, the company and investment bank will just decide the range. Say for example, they are deciding the range of 100 to 120. So 100 to 120 is the range decided. Now they will let the investors decide at what price they want to buy. So normally people will think that then if investors have to decide, then automatically they will go for 100. No, it doesn't happen like that, because if the demand is really high for this IPO, people would not like to leave this IPO. So they will even go for, they know that the demand is very high. So when the demand is very high, it can get oversubscribed. What do you mean by oversubscribed? Imagine that the company needs 1000 crore, but imagine what if it gets oversubscribed, and if it goes for 2000 crore. So it goes for 2000 crores. So like as an investor, I have a fear. I am highly interested in this company. So what I will do is I will go for 120, because at any cost I don't want to leave this IPO. Similarly, if there is huge demand, maximum people will go for this 120. So not necessarily that everybody will go for 100. Okay. So basically here the company is letting the market decide at what price they are interested in buying the IPO. Right. So here, so this is called book building issue. Okay. Now, at the end, how it works is once people apply for this IPO, so issue will be open, and it will be open for 3 to 5 days. Interested investors can bid for the IPO. Interested investors can bid for the IPO. Now, suppose 1000 crore. Now imagine 120. So they will start counting from 120, and imagine enough number of people, or enough number of shares. Okay, enough number of shares. Enough number of people have already showed interest, so that when they calculate, they are already getting 1000 crores. So when they are already getting 1000 crores, people who subscribed for less than 120, all this will be rejected. So company will go in the descending order, which is called as Dutch auction. Okay, Dutch auction. As in, company will go in the descending order. It will begin from 120. It will see what is the interest from 120. If at the rate of 120, enough people have shown interest, which is giving them already 1000 crore which they are in need of, then whoever placed the order for like 100, 115, 118, 19, all that will be rejected, and 120 will be selected. Okay, so that's how book building auction works. Right. So IPO is launched, and generally it will be open for 3 to 5 days, and interested investors will bid for the IPO. Now, why it is only for 3 to 5 days? Why not for 1 month or so? Reason is very simple. Like, see, normally even if they give 1 month, people will actually invest only on the last day. So that's the psychology. So they know that whoever is interested, they will, if even if 3 days are given, they will invest in these 3 days. If even 30 days are given, still they are going to invest in the last 2-3 days only. So that's the psychology. So for that reason, IPO issues are open normally for 3 to 5 days only. And also, if imagine one month is given, what will happen is, like, investors tend to inquire more, and normally they tend to get negative news about the share market, and then you never know, they can change their mindset also to invest. So they may not invest after giving like something like 1 month. So for that reason, keeping investor psychology in mind, normally 3 to 5 days is given to the investors to decide and invest. Okay, and then allocation of shares. So IPO shares are allocated to the successful bidders. Now, what do you mean by successful bidders? That's what I was explaining to you over here. So here, imagine enough people have shown interest. Then 120, whoever placed the order for 120, whoever placed this IPO issue for 120, they are the successful bidders. Rest all, their IPO application will be rejected. Suppose in case for 120 they have not got enough interest, then they will go in the descending order. Then they will check for 119 how many shares. So is that giving them 1000 crore or not? If not, then 118 how many shares is that giving them? So like this, they will come in the descending order. Okay. So IPO shares are allocated to the successful bidders within 10 days of the IPO gets over. And if it is oversubscribed, it will be proportionately allocated to the bidders. Say for example, it is subscribed like 100%, it is oversubscribed, imagine over here. So that means if you have applied for 10 shares, you will get only 5 shares, because proportionately it will be given to all. Okay, and then the remaining amount will be returned to the investors. For the unsuccessful bidders, amount is refunded around the time when IPO is listed. Till that time, amount is blocked in the Asba account. Asba stands for application supported by blocked amount. Now, this is a new process wherein this is a process. In fact, it is existing since the last few years. Now, in this process, what happens is money will be freezed from your bank account. Instead of earlier, what used to happen is, like, money will be debited from the bank account, and then the investor will have to wait with a question mark in his head to get the refund in his account again. And in case if any back end uh, uh, technical problem happens, then it gets delayed to get the refund. Whereas now what happens is, the money will be there in the account, but only thing is, it is freezed. And when they have to return it is again unfreezed, and the investor will get his amount back. It happens through this process called Asba, application supported by blocked amounts. Right. So these are some of the steps involved in an IPO. Hope this helps. And as far as one practical example is concerned, I have just showed this example of LIC over here, LIC IPO. This is the prospectus, Red Herring Prospectus for LIC IPO. You can see all the details over here. This is a complete prospectus, but when you look at newspaper, normally this 1 or 2 pages will be published in the newspaper. So here you will see the number of shares that they are planning to issue, and these are the investment banks. So a company can enter into an agreement with multiple investment banks to help them to raise money from the market. So all these are investment banks which were helping LIC to raise capital from the market. Kotak, Axis Capital, Bank of America, Citigroup, Nomura, SBI, JP Morgan, JM Financial, ICICI Securities, Goldman. These are the investment banks helping the company to raise capital. All right. And if you want to have a look at this prospectus, I will attach it in the description box. You may have a look at it. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time.